Salutations, respected viewers. This is George from Ireland. Here I am in the Bodleian Library in Oxford. So this is an early 17th century library, and it was the main library of the university for a very long time, well, until the early 18th century, but still bigger actually than the Radcliffe Camera which followed. So it's a copyright library. It's got over 10 million volumes. Every book published in the United Kingdom must give a free copy to this one. A few other libraries have got the same status. Anyway, right up here, you'll see an image of King James I of England, who was also King James I of Ireland and the 6th of Scotland. It's got two angels blowing their trumpets beside him and a Latin inscription as he's holding two books. Anyway, it says that during the reign of King James, the most learned and most generous, and I can't really get the rest about how the library was expanded. And where does it say? Above him it says Prince of Peace, because he really didn't want to go to war, bringing about peace between Scotland, England, Wales and Ireland. Try not to get involved in foreign wars, so that went wrong at the end, and there was a war against Spain. And then you can see the figure of Justice above him, and she's blindfolded, got the scales and so on, two other figures. And then right at the top, there's the lion and the unicorn and the royal coat of arms. Yeah, there's a crest, as in a knight's helmet with a lion on top of that. The royal coat of arms got the symbols of Ireland, Scotland, France and England. Yes, France, because monarchs in this country, up to and including George III, style themselves King of France, because they had some claim to that. They've never actually dropped it, they simply stopped repeating it. And then you've got the various Latin inscriptions above the doors for what was going on, what was taught in these various rooms. So they're gargoyles, as they were way up high, difficult to see them, and they're to scare off evil spirits. But what's fascinating is in the 20th century they put more figures, they're not really gargoyles. Some of them are medieval style. This chap with a pointy beard, you'll see him, and this crowned figure, I don't know who he represents. But then what's really scintillating is here. Very much an early 20th century, perhaps a late 19th century figure, and then there's another man with books behind him. Looks a bit like John Maynard Keynes to me. I don't know if it's supposed to be him. He actually went to Cambridge. And that's through to the Radcliffe Camera, a round library, a domed library, founded by Sir John Radcliffe. I've talked a lot about him in a different video. So, School of Music and so on. You'll see some more of these figures. And then the one on the other side of the door, that face has got a ruff as in one of those 17th century collars. I won't show them all to you. The Bodleian Library has got the name because of Thomas Bodley, who founded it. It was very much expanded under King James I. And there you can see coat of arms again, the lion and the unicorn. It's colourful this time, and in the middle of a very detailed discussion of the royal coat of arms, because they can have several different heraldic emblems. You know, the harp of Ireland, gold on a blue field, the three lions passant of England, originates of Normandy, the fleur de lis, lily flowers on a blue field, that's of France, and so on. The lion rampant of Scotland, a red lion on its hind legs, as in attacking, on a gold field, that's of Scotland. And then you can see the various floral motifs around it. So that is the Bodleian Library. So a lot of these libraries, they're named after whoever it was who founded them. Now above a door over here, you're going to see the university's coat of arms. Try and get a bit closer, you can get a little bit of detail, and two angels holding it, with three gold crowns, a bit like this, the symbol of Munster, my province. And then it's got a quotation from the book of Psalms in the Bible, Dominus Illuminatio Mea, the Lord is my light. Okay, so that is a bit about the Bodleian Library, and I'm not sure if it's ever open to tourists actually, because I didn't have to go there as a tourist, because I'm an undergraduate and a postgraduate. So there's another coat of arms, if we're looking at the ceiling. Here's the Oxford University coat of arms, a bit brighter and more detail. So it always repays the effort of craning your neck and looking up. Alright, so behind me is the Clarendon building, so named because the Earl of Clarendon, he founded it. So he was a Mr. Hyde, who was a member of Parliament, a critic of King Charles I in the late 1830s, but he took Charles I's side in the English Civil War. And indeed, when Charles II fled, because Charles I has been executed, Hyde went abroad to the Netherlands with Charles II, later came back with him in 1660 when the monarchy was restored. So he became Lord Clarendon, as I said. He's honoured by the King, and he wrote a book, A History of the Great Rebellion, as in of the English Civil War. And the proceeds of that book he gave to the university to build this, the Clarendon Building, which is an administrative centre. Hebdomadal council meets there, as in weekly council. It's derived from the Greek word for the number 7, as in 7 days a week. And up top you can see the muses like rhetoric, poetry, music, and I can't remember the other ones, these ancient Greek figures. That's what they represent, the muses. So all part of Oxford University's magnificent architectural heritage. Now, behind me, we are going to see the Sheldonian Theatre, so named because Lord Sheldon had it built. That's when matriculation takes place. There's a ceremony when undergraduates are new here, they're sort of sworn into the university. It's mostly conducted in Latin. All you have to do is sit there wearing sub-fusc. Sub-fusc is a bit like the uniform of the university. It has to be a dark suit, could be navy blue, black, charcoal grey, a white shirt, could be a stick-up collar. Ladies don't have to wear something different. Can be trousers. Ladies can wear a skirt or trousers. In this transgendered era, I suppose boys could wear skirts as well. So their concerts go on there as well, and you can pay to go in if there's no concert or anything like that. Look at these funny faces up around, and there's a cupola right up top, as in a sort of a round room with glass all around, and it affords you a magnificent panorama of the city. That's the Sheldonian Theatre, which is well worth going in if you do pay a visit to it. And so it's got the sky painted on the ceiling because they were into all things neoclassical, but British weather being what it is, they didn't have it open to the elements. And look up there, these suits of armour, like from Roman times. And then the royal coat of arms up there. Okay, Charles II, by the grace of God, of Great Britain and France and Ireland King, defender of the faith. It's got these Latin abbreviations as in fide defensor, which is defender of the faith. Henry II got that title from the Pope for penning a defence of the seven sacraments, a book. He probably actually had it ghostwritten. But even when Henry VIII broke with the Roman Catholic Church, the monarchs here still use that title, which really they shouldn't do. So here I'm on Broad Street, and there are no prizes for guessing why it's got such a descriptive name. We can see some of these faces here. They're meant to be of Roman emperors in front of the Sheldonian Theatre. I had heard people say that they are replaced every 35 years. I'm not so sure about that. And it was a great undergraduate prank to get a traffic bollard and place them up top. There's a story about Max Beerbohm Tree, I think it's called Zuleika, about a girl who's so unutterably beautiful that as she walks along the street, all these statues turn their heads to look at her. Right, so that is a brief introduction to some of the more historic part of Oxford University. Do pay a visit here and ask me to be your tour guide. It'll be called Top Hat Tours.